Hi, I'm Kat, and this is today's tarot. It's been raining here a lot in Paonia, so I am in my house, in my little bedroom den, giving our reading today. We did have some interesting cards come in today that are referencing a lot of the astrology transits that we're going through, so I'm going to speak on those as I walk through the reading. If you have any questions or any interests that are piqued by the reading or the references to the astrology transits, please feel free to leave a comment below and I will respond in kind. The opening card that we have for today is the Wheel of Fortune. So this is an energy of a turning of fate, a turning of some cycle in our lives that is bringing something new and bringing an opportunity. It's like something all of a sudden came into our lives out of nowhere, and there is this chance at something new that we didn't actually see or even imagine last week or the week before. Now, this is interesting because, the turning of fate, a lot of people are like, whoa, this is changing everything in my life, but it's bringing out an opportunity, perhaps with a wish, a very deep wish that you've been holding inside of you for a very long time. Now consider that Jupiter right now is in opposition to the sun. This card is a card that's associated with Jupiter. It's in opposition to the sun, so we have Jupiter, which is considered the sun behind the sun, and we have the sun in opposition. So in a lot of ways, they are lighting up the terrain that we're working with in our lives, and they're showing something and revealing something that we wouldn't have been able to see without this great amount of light. We're also stepping toward a full moon, and during full moons we also have a lot of light that we can see the terrain that we're working with and that we're living on, quite literally. If you go outside in an area that doesn't have any light pollution and there's a full moon, you can actually see all of your surroundings, whereas if there's a new moon, there's no light reflected on the moon, and so it's dark. Right? So during times of full moons, we see a lot within our own selves. We see a lot within other people. And ultimately, it is revealing of things. So we'll step into that a little bit more with a few cards. But consider that today we are seeing this turning, this turning of fate, turning of a wheel. And there is some opportunity coming into our lives that we perhaps didn't even have access to a few weeks ago. Now, the challenge that we're facing today is this Knight of Swords. And so this is a very fast moving energy. Right now, we also have Mercury and Mars in conjunction. And Mercury is the planet of Quicksilver. It's very, very fast moving. It's associated with Gemini, right? It's a quick energy, quick talking. It's all about communication. It's all about ideas. And there are a lot of things right now that are up in the air because of possibly this new change and this new opportunity that is coming into our lives. And it's kind of like we don't know where our feet are underneath us or how to step forward because everything is a bit up in the air. And so this is reminding us, you have to let things ground a little bit before you can actually move forward. And everything is just quickly in motion right now. Now consider that Mars and Mercury are in Virgo right now. So we have this energy that's moving towards, self-care, what we need to take care of, what our practical efforts need to be. And so we have that energy of Mars and Mercury in that area of your natal chart. So wherever Virgo is, for me, it's in my first house. It's affecting me on a personal level in who I am and how I show up to the world. And depending on where Virgo is in your own chart, that's where it's going to be affecting you personally in your own life. The way that we're going to get through the challenge is the energy of the Judgment card. Now, this is a realization and an awakening from some place that you've been in for a while, and it's like the door has been open and all this light is starting to shed in, and it's creating transformation that you can't necessarily turn back from, right? Pluto is an energy that is transformative, and transformative in a way of how the caterpillar becomes the butterfly. Like You can't go back to being a caterpillar once you are a butterfly. And we are in the process of that. We are in the process of becoming a new version of ourselves. And in that way, some part of us is also dying off, much like these figures are stepping out of a coffin because they're being called to something new. So we've had Pluto in Capricorn for a number of years. And last year, in 2020, in January, we actually had 5 planets in conjunction in Capricorn, which is a big reason why we're going through this societal change, because the planets that aligned in Capricorn last year are really slow moving planets because they're outer planets. And so they create the biggest change on a global scale when they sync up, kind of like, like energy is kind of in a lock or something, like coming together so that something can be opened and something can be moved. So we're all going through this, and that's how we're going to get through this, is realize that we are in an awakening and there are some things that we are going to need to let go of. Now, Pluto right now is in conjunction with the moon. So our moon, the moon within us is our essential self, and it's our emotional nature and our emotional connection to people. And it's also how we reflect the outer world in us. And so considering that we have this major transformative energy of Pluto with our moon energy, with our essential self, with our with our emotional self, we have a transformation happening around how we feel about things, how we see things, and possibly even how we feel inside the world. Now consider that Capricorn is an earth ruled sign, and so is Virgo. So we have these energies that are in trine relationship right now. And so this change is actually working something beneficial in our lives. It's just a matter of how we see it. So that brings me to the final card. The final card that we have for today is the 5 of Cups. Now, if you look at this card, you can see that a figure is looking down at 3 spilt cups, and behind them, there are 2 cups that are sitting on a little stump that are waiting to be realized and waiting to be acknowledged and seen. And so it brings up where we put our attention. Do we focus our attention on loss and what isn't working, or do we focus our attention on this sense of renewal and what is bringing us a sense of love and life and nurturing in the world? Because ultimately, both of these things are happening at the same time, and we are at a crossroads in how we want to look at things and what we want to make of the experience that we're in based on what's around us. And so I encourage you to turn around and pick up one of these 2 cups. Now, in the Tarot system, the 2 of Cups is 2 figures that each have a cup and they're sharing it with each other. And so it's a mutual exchange. It's a beneficial relationship. And that is there for us if we can just stop looking at this sense of what hasn't worked and what hasn't panned out. So everything is all about perspective, and that's something that Virgo reminds us as well, with that energy of Mars and Mercury, because Mercury is also how we see things, how we talk about things, how we describe things. And Mars being in conjunction with Mercury is bringing up this like fire in how we see things, and almost like it's going through this kiln kind of process of refinement. And so I encourage you to, if you are looking at your life and you find yourself focusing on like the red thread rather than the whole picture, take a couple steps back, because Virgo can be an energy that is hyper focused on details. I'm one of those people, and that can sometimes be misleading, because it's really useful to take a step back and see the whole picture so we don't get so identified with the red thread, right? So I encourage you to turn around and pick up one of these 2 cups and share it with someone else, because ultimately that's what we're moving into today. Again, if you have any questions about any of the transits that I had spoken about, or if you are interested in getting a tarot reading, feel free to reach out to me. I also walk people through their astrology charts and the transits that they're going through when I do readings for people. And I can also just focus on an astrology reading if you're interested more so in that. I send you so much love and a good wish to get you through your day. Remember to pick up the cup that's standing up behind you rather than focus on the one that's spilt. I send you so much love, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now. Mwah.